Good afternoon, Copers. Welcome, everybody. It is Saturday, April 25th, 2026. It's the Saturday call-in show here to take your calls. You can find the link for StreamYard in the description of the video or the About page. When you, if it's your first time calling, when you click the link, it's going to open in your browser. It's going to ask for permission to access your microphone. Make sure you say yes, you can use my microphone. All right. We got a caller here. Let's just get into it. Space Godzilla, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take, sir?
What's up, LP? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I just wanted to ask you about something you said. I remember on one of the, I don't remember what stream it was, but you did say you went to jail for 2 years, right?
Oh, so that was a misconception. That's funny. Blonde tweeted me about. She was like, "Wait, you went to jail for 2 years?" No, I was reading the chat. Somebody in the chat said that. I've spent a couple hours in a jail cell, but I've never spent a night in jail.
Yeah, because I was wondering what kind of jail holds someone for 2 years. I mean, a prison, sure, but what kind of jail was that? I wanted to ask you about that, but I guess there's nothing to ask.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, can I at least ask you what the night in the jail cell was over?
Well, it wasn't a night. It was like a couple hours, and I was arrested for obstruction and charged and convicted of obstruction. It's a long story. I'm not, but I was into like the sovereign citizen. It's kind of a funny story, actually. I'm not going to like tell it in great detail, but I'll give you the Coles notes. Okay. So had gotten into sovereign citizen stuff, but it was like the less kooky stuff. It was more like know your rights kind of thing. And one of your rights is that if a cop asks you for your name or to see your ID, you don't have to show it to them. And beyond that, if they ask you to identify yourself, you don't actually even have to do that unless you're being like ticketed. Then you do have to identify yourself for the ticket. So what happened was I was looking after my friend's dog. This was in Montreal. I was in a park in Montreal, and the dog was off leash, and the cops came up to me and they asked to see my ID, and I like refused to give it to him. And the guy just like instantly tackled me. I was like, what the fuck has happened? Like, I thought we were going to have like a debate about the law and my rights. And he's like, give me your ID. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And he just like instantly jumped on me, like threw me on the ground, slammed his knee into my back and shit. And so that's what I went to jail for a couple hours. There's a lot more to the story than that, but I'll just leave it there for now. Maybe I'll tell the real detailed version someday.
All right, thank you, LP. Thank you for clearing up the misconception.
Okay, Space Godzilla, thanks for calling.
Yeah, see you around.
Cheers. King Jewish, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's up?
What's up, dude? Just so you know, I'm at the Walmart parking lot waiting to get loaded by these Walmart slaves here. Oh, I think he's coming to me.
Getting loaded in the
might
Walmart.
have to call you.
loaded.
They load my groceries.
I didn't know you were such a degenerate.
I'm gonna have to call you back.
Huffing gas in the Walmart. King Jewish huffing gas.
No. I'm gonna call you back.
Parking lot.
I'm gonna call you right back.
All right, man. That's the problem, is I forgot to say there was like there's nobody else waiting to talk right now, so I guess I'll tell a little bit more of the story. It involved an element of like Anglo Francophone tension, right? The cops were Francophones, and Francophones don't like Anglos, and so that was part of the dynamic, which I think about every now and then. Well, not really anymore, but back in the day, in the anti-SJW days, when people would say shit like, you're a white man, you don't know what it's like to be oppressed on your identity or anything like that, I would always kind of think, well, actually, I'm pretty sure that the Quebec justice system treated me way shittier because I was an Anglophone when I went through it, actually. Not that those freaks would care about any of that. I don't know when I'm supposed to bring, because he's sitting in the studio. I'll just kick him and then he can rejoin, because I don't know when I'm supposed to bring him back on. Oh, what's going on, guys? What's up? It's the call-in show. Taking your calls. Used to call in there on the link. It used to be there was like 30 people on a Saturday, and I would have to like lightning round through them to try to get through it. Nobody calls in anymore. This is if you've been following my podcast, my paywall, you just click the link in the description of the video where it says call in. If you've been following my paywalled podcast, and if you listen to my episode I did this week called Crossroads, Just Be Normal, episode 2, but I talked about this, about like everybody's nobody gives a shit about politics and all that. People are tuning out. That was sort of like the theme, including me. Like, I don't care either. But here we are. So does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anybody at all? King Jewish, can you hear me? Please come back. I'm so lonely. I might have to start, yeah, it is on locals, Jessica. I might have to start preparing segments for that. It's just like, when lots of people started reliably showing up, I stopped doing that and it was so nice. It was so, because I ended up not using it almost all of the time. Tried to call in, but I couldn't figure it out. It opens in your web browser. The StreamYard link opens in your web browser. It's pretty straightforward. It's I don't know what to tell you. I don't care about any politics short of a Western. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's no demand for discourse anymore, right? There's always going to be a demand for entertainment. There's a demand for like show me. There's a demand for like tell me what the news of the day is, and there's a demand for like show me some funny videos or crack some funny jokes, but nobody really wants to talk politics and talk the movement and this and that and what's going on with Trump and what's going on with Fuente. And nobody gives a shit anymore, like including me. So it's kind of a problem. All right, here we go. King Jewish.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm done getting loaded.
Okay, good.
I'm done getting loaded here at the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about you today. I was thinking about you today because I was at the gym and I was looking at Twitter in between my sets, and there's this big blue button, red button hypothetical about, you know, everybody dies if you do this, everybody doesn't die if you do that, or whatever. I don't want to like lay it all out, but I was kind of thinking about how like to me the blue button was the virtuous choice, but I was arguing with people about it on Twitter, and I was just like the counter argument is like, well, you know, if there was actual skin in the game and not a hypothetical, more people would have picked red to stay alive. And I kind of thought like, well, I would do it even if I knew I was going to die, just because it's like the virtuous choice. And then I'd be up in heaven drinking beers with Elvis Presley and reminiscing about all the puss. Me and Elvis Presley would be up in heaven drinking beers and reminiscing about all the fornicating we did.
We've been through this.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought of you. Well, anyway, what's up, man?
Okay. Good. Yeah, good. Well, I like giving the hypotheticals. I think I just want everybody who I like to be ready to meet God, you know? And I'm definitely not putting you in this category, but I think a lot of people are just like, well, if I believe in God and I have respect for the Bible, that's enough, right? God will let me in if that's all I do, is just kind of tip the hat to God. And a lot of people don't get into the weeds a little bit about, well, how does somebody actually get saved? You know, I'm convinced that if you trust in your works, right, at all, if you trust in any one of your religious works, you don't have the gospel. You're saying the work of Jesus Christ was not sufficient. You know, it's a false gospel. So I think there's a lot at stake. I think it's important to be ready. You know, you don't know when you're going to die, and you must be ready to meet God, and you must have a clear understanding of the gospel, you know, not to alienate your Orthodox and Catholic, you know, viewers and stuff like that. But it's important, you know, somebody's wrong, you know, and we should figure out who, you know.
Yeah. Why are the Orthodox wrong?
Sense.
What's actually wrong with the Orthodox? That's not a
from my
rhetorical,
perspective
like, I
as
don't
a
know.
Protestant.
Yeah.
From my perspective as a Protestant, you know, the Eastern Orthodox people, they don't have a Western kind of view of justification and of like imputed righteousness. They tend not to think about, quote unquote, like being saved. Like they kind of have different categories. Like it would be a little foreign to them if you went up to them and said, "Are you saved, brother?" Like they don't really think that way, in my experience. The way they tend to think is like, what the ultimate goal of life is to become one with the divine essence, or theosis, right? To be in perfect union with God and kind of be absorbed into the one being of God. And because of that, they tend to have a strange view, in my opinion, about the atonement, right? They don't think that Jesus Christ, when he died on the cross, was really a satisfaction for the wrath of God. You know, they think that if Jesus Christ, they say, like, Protestants believe that Jesus Christ was damned by God on the cross, you know, which they can't accept, which is what, if you're a historic Protestant, that's what you have to believe. You have to believe that on the cross, Jesus Christ took your punishment, right? Your sin debt was given to him and it was paid for on the cross. Eastern Orthodox people don't believe that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's because they have a very high view of the Trinity. You know, Eastern Orthodox, I have to admit, are like probably the best thinkers in defending like the Trinity coherently. But they say if Jesus Christ took your sin on the cross, if he became a sinner, then Jesus Christ separated himself from God, or God damned God on the Trinity, and that's or on the cross, and that's like separating the Trinity. So
Okay.
and then they don't affirm, the last quick point about it is they just don't affirm that faith alone is what gives you perfect peace with God. You know, you have to kind of go through the treadmill of the sacrament of the religious works in order to have peace with God. You know, you have to do that stuff.
All right, I'm going to clip this and send it to Jay Dyer, and then he's going to challenge you to a debate.
Yeah. I don't think he'd disagree too much. I've talked to Jay Dyer before on Discord about something else, but okay, and then Eastern Orthodox.
You know, there's like 5 people waiting now. There's like a bunch of people. So
oh boy,
did you?
Everybody called in.
Yeah. Did you have something on your mind when you called in, or was that?
Yeah. One last caveat to that: I do believe in doing good works. I think all true Christians will manifest in good works, but it's not good works that save you. And if somebody doesn't have good works, it's probably because they don't believe. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is it was so refreshing to hear you talk about this SPLC thing. Like, it seems like everybody is confused about this. Like, even Aaron McIntyre, I saw he did a video yesterday where he was saying the same slop takes. You know, he was saying that the SPLC was paying the leaders of these groups to perpetuate them. And even when I first heard the story, it just seemed wrong. Like, it seemed off, like something was missing. But how do you explain? I mean, are you and I missing something? Like, how do you explain everybody getting this wrong?
Well, I mean, so Kash Patel did explicitly say that they were paying the leadership. And that does seem to be the case when it came, there was one guy who was the Grand Wizard of the KKK, which that would be the leadership, but that it's also like a non-entity, the KKK. And then there was another guy who I guess was like the chairman of the National Alliance. So there was a couple examples of that. And so the logic is like, you can't be the leader and an informant. Like if you're the leader, but you're an informant, then the organization is just like a honey trap at that point, I guess, which kind of makes sense. But I don't know, man. A lot of people, they just really like that sort of feel good narrative that there is no white identitarians, there is no race problem in America. It's just that's just a hoax that the woke left is perpetuating. I don't know why they just like, it's like a comforting to them, I think. And also okay, I think some people cynically just know that it's what the audience wants to hear. I don't know, maybe some of them don't even necessarily believe it, but they know it's like, definitely a lot of tweets went viral pushing that, you know.
Oh yeah.
And when people
so then in closing,
so yeah, go ahead.
So then to get to your other callers, so you're saying there is a little bit of validity, at least in these totally podunked, defunct groups that have basically zero influence. There were people who were obviously not informants. You don't think the leader of the KKK is an informant, do you?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of something different at that point, I think. So yeah, there is like a defensibility to it, but I mean, it's just a stretch. It's a stretch to go from the Grand Wizard. One of the Grand Wizards was on the payroll, therefore, like white nationalism is an SPLC op.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is kind of, that's sort of the subtext of a lot of people when they're saying that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The dumbest one, this will be my final thing I prep. The dumbest one was the Charlottesville thing, right? Because even I was getting responses on Facebook when I was kind of, making comments on Facebook groups. People were saying, well, they organized Charlottesville.
Right.
All of Charlottesville was part of the SPLC, slop fest.
Yeah. And that was definitely
there was one
intentionally
guy
framed that way by many people. Many people framed it that way intentionally.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was one guy texting about who he was going to pick up and not pick up, who got paid over the course of 8 years.
Yeah, it was a guy organizing carpools, being like, oh, you're coming from Cincinnati. Well, we got a car here. Maybe you can talk to this guy. Like that's,
Yeah, that guy's obviously an informant and just an informant, you would say.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, well, cool. Well, I'm happy that there's some sane voices out there still. So, okay, appreciate it.
All right, good talking to you. Cheers.
All right, bye.
All right, we got Vampire Frog next, and then Dude Mon after. Vampire Frog, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
I don't know about Protestantism. I can talk computers and software.
Okay, what did you call in to talk about? Hit me with your computer software take.
I don't know. I'm making $90 a month from LiveJoiner.
That's sucks.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think I would pay more for it. I think your prices are too low, but it's probably hard because a lot of streamers in this space are kind of poor, or like they don't really make much money. Like I saw a guy like asking about it in the 88 streams Telegram before I left. And he's kind of being like, oh, is it worth it? Is it worth like the $4 a month or whatever? And I'm like, dude, $4 a month. Like you really got to even like just try it out at that point. You know what I mean? Like, what, you're worried you're going to be out $4 if you don't like it? It's really cheap. So,
interesting. Like, do you have a product to compare it with? Like, is there a product that you pay more for that's kind of,
well, I don't think there's anything that does it. So there's a free product that I'm sure you know of, the Social Ninja, but they don't have like, that's just for the chat. Basically they have the chat, and it's pretty good for the chat. It takes more setup and stuff like that. It's more of a pain in the ass, actually, but it gets the job done for free. But they don't have the view count thing. They don't have the alerts. Like all that stuff you've done is like way above and beyond.
Yeah, the alerts thing I actually had. Now, this was years ago on DLive. There was someone who did basically a song request stream. And I was just looking at how she was doing it, like how, and I figured, why don't I automate that? Why don't I make like, and she was prioritizing them as well. Like there's, you use the alert widget, but the song request system is like a separate system where it can, like if someone pays more money, it can prioritize the song and put it higher up in the queue. So yeah, that's where I got the idea. Like that there was someone who,
yeah, I think that would make sense if you were like letting the whole song play or whatever, but I don't think it's something I'm not that worried about.
I've added some new platforms. It's like I forgot their name. Valora was one of them. I had a user on Valora. Like I
never heard of it.
A user called iRetard.
Yeah,
It's like it's a reference to iRobot, and it has like a Will Smith with Down syndrome avatar.
Yeah,
But they emailed me and they were like, bro, we changed your username to iSlow because of our policy.
yeah. I've never heard of it. I got emailed about some new streaming site the person wanted me to join. Like it was like a spam business email, kind of like, hey, we love your stuff. Why don't you sign up where we're going to be like Rumble, but without censorship. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I forget what it was called though. I think I deleted the email, I think.
That's a weird market, the already taken.
Oh no,
market.
here it is. Povi TV. Ever heard of them?
Okay.
POVI.TV. They offered me to join their like beta, whatever. But I read the email and I just knew there was no money involved, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. I did that experiment with like all like Party and that and Trovo and trying to stream it all, and I just realized like it's a waste of time. There's no point using a site that has like no audience at all, you know?
Yeah, like I've seen so many come and go. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, do you remember Bitwave? I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, there's like a continuation of it. It's called realms.pub.
Okay.
And they only have one chat. That's the thing. Like the same chat is applied to
for
every
all
streamer.
Channels. That's crazy.
And they have edgy shitlord, kind of degenerate stuff on there.
Yeah.
I think that's what and they do post clips from Bitwave, so I think it's the same guys.
Okay.
Yeah, Rumble has a contract with Canadian sports broadcasters. Like they do the whole Canadian sports broadcasting infrastructure.
Did not know that.
That's tough to compete with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, DLive had a chance to be Rumble before Rumble existed, and they totally fumbled it. They totally shot. They were like, we don't want to be political. Yeah. Anyway, anything else? So you make $90 a month. So what, you have about what, like 30 people? How many people are using?
I think it's like 20. Some of them pay the $8 thing.
Yeah.
Which has restreaming and a bunch of stuff on it.
Yeah. Well, Rumble gives restreaming for free. That's what I use now. It's totally free. Which is great. Yeah, Rumble Studio. Cool. Yeah, and unlimited destinations for free. It's kind of wild.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of potential. And I always tell people, like, whenever anybody asks, I'm like, sign up. It's joiner.live. I always try to send people your way. So, because I want you to be successful, because it's like a good product and I want to keep using it.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it. Just one more point. People who like the problem with hosting your own live streaming platform is the bandwidth cost. That's why DLive shuts down. That's why, in fact, DLive they did so the bandwidth and the video storage costs all the money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, like if you have like a WordPress website, you can even host that in your bedroom on an old laptop and it's gonna keep up. But with the bandwidth, that you have to pay a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And the other problem is you have to get people to use it, and you can't just run that forever.
Yeah, that's why Nick let Cozy die off. It was just like a money sink. And
it's just bleeding money for no reason.
Yeah.
DLive did a thing where, you know how they have a bunch of stickers. At some point, they put a restriction on stickers so that they could. So the restriction was you can't post a sticker unless it's in someone's favorites or it's like a streamer sticker. And I suspect they did that to delete all the unused stickers because you have to pay for the storage for all the stickers.
Sure.
So that's a thing they did to save some money back then, like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, they used to have like thumbnails for the replay. They got rid of that at some point too. Yeah, it's just like they were just like, you tell they were trying to like trim whatever fat they could to keep costs down. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, they put up a good fight, I guess.
Yeah, and then I had like 700 lemons in there that I couldn't cash out because you need like 4,000. So they ripped me off.
Okay. You can probably give them to someone who has almost 4,000.
Is it? Yeah, I guess I never thought about that. All right. Well, somebody give me 3,000 lemons. All right, I'm going to move on to the next caller here, Vamp.
Nice chatting with you. See ya.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Wrong one. Hold on, Bush. You're up next. First, Dude Mon. Dude Mon, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
What's up, man? You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically just want to say your new podcast is super kino. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
Again, everyone who's a member, you gotta check out this podcast. It's like sitting in a dark corner of a super quiet bar, just having a chat,
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah. I feel like it's still a little rough around the edges, but like the proof of concept is there. So I'm optimistic I'm going to get it pretty good as I keep doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. I mean, the last couple of shows you've been kind of talking about how not necessarily like melancholic you are, but just kind of how you don't exactly know what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been feeling the same way the last couple of months. It's really hard not to be like despondent, melancholic, just like what the fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit apathetic, a little bit just sort of like directionless. That's how I've been feeling a bit. There's definitely things I'm wanting. I'm really hoping Allison gets pregnant. That's like a big thing there's things that I want. Like I'm not just like a totally on autopilot. There's things that we're trying to achieve, but I don't know when it comes to like especially when it comes to the content, that's where I just feel sort of like, I don't know, man, I'm kind of bored. I'm kind of
because it seems like everyone is retarded.
Yes, everyone is retarded. Exactly. Yes, yeah, that's a big part of the problem. You start to wonder, like everyone's retarded, everyone's unethical. It's all like all the influencers, they just want money and followers and that. They don't really have like principles. They don't, there's good people in here, but those are sort of more the exception to the rule.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know if you listen to War Strike, the podcast with Eric Stryker and Warren Baylog.
I'm familiar with them, but I don't listen.
They're really a bit more extreme than you. They're like super ideological.
Yeah, Warren is really. I've listened to Modern Politics, which is the one Warren does with Emily, and he's really smart. And I follow him on Twitter. And I like his takes a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got and they were both like high up in the NJP, the National Justice Party.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, essentially, my point with them is that even they have been saying for months now that we are essentially in limbo.
Yeah.
Like, we are in the limbo right now, and like nothing's going to happen until everything collapses. You know, like we can't be too optimistic about something happening.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know if everything's going to collapse, but it's just kind of like really like your focus should be very localized. You know what I mean? Focus on yourself, your family, and then maybe your community, if even that. And that's kind of like as high as the layers go. There's no nation. There's no America. There's no like, don't worry about the federal government. They don't know you exist. They don't give a fuck about you, kind of thing. So and I guess the thing is, once you accept that, talking about racial issues is almost pointless. Like you'd be better off. Honestly, you'd be better off like watching fitness videos to get like new fitness routines, or like watching finance videos to like learn how to make money playing the system. I don't recommend that, but if it works, then that would definitely be more productive. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of trying to figure out what can I do to make sure that people are getting any kind of useful value out of this, and that's sort of what I'm trying to figure out, because I don't have a really good niche skill like that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know what you could do necessarily. I mean, you got a good thing going with your. I do.
I can just keep going on autopilot, and that's basically the plan till I figure something else out. But I just like. I know myself, and I know when I start getting bored, I've got like a year or two before I go insane to figure out like an off ramp. It's always been that way. So, I'm confident I will figure something out, but it's just what I'm working on now.
Yeah, and like being on Twitter and being on Telegram, I swear, like everybody is going insane.
Yeah,
I know people in real life who are going insane because everything we see is meant to make somebody crazier than they are right now.
I talked about this in episode 1. I said people are more neurotic. They're getting more neurotic every day. I definitely see that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as everybody listening,
especially on the internet, especially you talk to people in real life and they're normal, but you go on the internet and everyone's fucking miserable and angry. I don't know. Like I've said that and people are like, it's always been that way. And I'm like, really? I'm the only one who thinks that it's like way more widespread now, that people just are like rude and abrasive. I don't know. It's just me, I guess.
Yeah. And it's, in my opinion, or in my experience, is leaked into like real life too, like because everyone in real life is also on the internet.
Yeah,
and like younger guys under 40 who I know are just going totally schizo.
Yeah,
not everybody, but a few of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's just bad. I mean, you got to get off Twitter unless you're making money on Twitter. I think you just got to get off Twitter. It's so bad, but
yeah. All right, man. I got a bunch more people calling, so I'm gonna take some of the calls here.
All right, man. Good talking.
Dude, Mon. Thank you.
Later.
Cheers. Bush, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take, sir?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna preface this by saying that I'm not like a genius, right? I'm not like, I'm pretty sharp, but I'm not like a genius. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do a lot of talking to people about like, and my friends who like don't like know as much about this stuff, especially about like religion and stuff, and then just random people too. But something I've come across is like how hard it is to get across to people that we are like not as smart as God, or like there's concepts, trying to tell someone that there's a concept that like they might not be able to grasp is like almost impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know there's like good examples. Just so I'll give an example just for people watching to like follow along. But like this came up when that Jordan Peterson, he did that, you know, an atheist versus 20 or a Christian versus 20 atheists or whatever.
Watched that, yeah.
Right, and they were like, and then he said, "No, I'm not a Christian." Changed the name, but anyway, like the one guy was saying like, if God knows what's going to happen, then there's no free will, right? And this is one of these examples of like a midwit kind of thinking. He understands how everything works when he's dealing with concepts that are beyond human understanding, like omniscience and you know, predetermination and stuff like that. So, you know, some things are paradoxical. God can know what you're going to do before you do it, but it doesn't mean that you don't have free will and that you're not still choosing to do that thing. It's just kind of like hard to wrap your head around.
Right. But instead of just accepting, okay, well, that's hard to wrap my head around, but obviously it must be true because it's God, they'll just like hit a wall and be like, well, then it can't be, I don't know. Well, then none of this can be true. It's like, no, there are things that you just might not be able to grasp, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Just leave it to like.
Nobody can explain consciousness, but like nobody can even fucking explain why we're able to like hold thoughts in our physical brain chemistry and like how that works.
Yeah.
But they definitely know that like there's no way God could know what you're gonna do, but that, and then therefore free will isn't. It's like, dude, the consciousness is like lower down on the totem of things to try to understand, and we can't even understand that.
Right. And like top minds too, not like your average, you know, guy. But yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend like a few months ago over this because she was atheist when we started dating, and it didn't matter to me at the time. I then listened to Stone Choir and was like, oh, this matters, you know. And we got into a big argument about it, and I was basically just trying to tell her, like, because she was like, well, I don't believe in like creation because it doesn't make sense, and she's like, want me to explain? I'm like, look, I don't know, you know, I can't explain this to you, and you probably wouldn't be able to understand it if I could, and she just rejected it wholesale, like, just if she can't understand it, you know, then it can't be true. But I don't know, I find that a lot, even like online. It's just such a hard bridge to cross when I'm talking to people, I guess.
Yeah. Welcome to retard world, man. I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you there. You know, if there was a series of words you could put together to make people realize God is real, we'd have a lot less problems. That'd be such a great starting point if we could just get everybody to agree that God is real. I think that would help a lot. But good luck with that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man.
For sure. All right,
Bush.
thank you, LP. Have a good one.
Thank you. Cheers. All right, we got Ozark and then Revelator and then Ked's dead. Ozark, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, LP. I'm a frequent call-in show listener. Unfortunately, not a lot of time to call in and comment and all that stuff, you know. But I do enjoy listening, and I especially, you know, appreciate hearing takes. But I had a bit of a theory on this whole SPLC drop. I think there's a couple purposes behind it.
Yeah.
Like Devin Stack has talked before, and he's done a good job describing. I mean, he's literally worked in the media world. And he talked about how everyone who's sort of the acceptable tier 1 Con Inc. influencers, they get the script handed out for a pre-written narrative. And that definitely happened with this. Because there's no other way. Ultimately, I think in the long run, it's going to backfire on Con Inc. with the white base. Because they essentially threw their white base under the bus, and they're continuing to do that with this narrative. And it makes no logical sense. If you have, you know, anything more than a double-digit IQ, it makes no logical sense. Oh, they were paying for snitches. Anti-white organizations are trying to pay for snitches. Therefore, the entire pro-white movement does not exist.
Right.
You know, which is you can't say thousands of people were legally railroaded. when the initial, I've noticed listening to you, you kind of have an understanding of the social psychology. You delve into that a lot, which I really try to look into and understand that as well. I think that's really the stage we're at. And on one minor note, kind of side note too, and I'll try to sum this up quickly. A lot of people do get black pilled. I get that, but people get black pilled when you look at, the current system as it is. Because we say, well, there's no solution for us inside the system, and I agree. That would be very blackpilling if that's where our hope is. And for one thing, obviously, I'm a Christian. Our hope is in the Lord. So that's where we put our hope. But in a realistic sense, there's actually a way to be really white pilled right now because as the white pill, our people are actually waking up, and they're waking up in droves. So if you actually look at the grassroots and moving forward from there, and at least organizing outside, it's a white pilling. It's not ambiguous at all.
Yeah.
But I do think a couple of things, and I'll wrap it up with this. I think the reason they didn't release the names was because they are trying to make everybody point fingers. And the biggest problem in dissident circles, especially nationalists, workers, whatever it may be, is everybody having personal beefs with each other and then infighting, destroying it from within.
Yeah.
Which that's how these snitches probably happened in the first place.
Mhm.
I think they're avoiding dropping the names because they're hoping in the meanwhile, while everybody's guessing, they're pointing fingers, and that fighting, the infighting that's going to happen in the meanwhile is going to tear everything apart. Probably also try to discourage people. But one little factoid, and I'll close with that, is that a lot of the people on the Hill have been saying that a third of all their staffers are groypers.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all groypers. I think groypers is just the general category they put all dissidents under because
Yeah.
a lot of them are septuagenarians. They don't know better.
Yeah.
But we're way beyond that, like, really niche, antisocial, heavily suppressed stage that the 2.0 was at 10 years ago when all this was happening. Everything they're going off of was literally like 10-year-old information. As far as the grassroots effort, this is like the being pro-white right now, and the nationalism is the biggest grassroots sentiment that really doesn't have anywhere to officially go at this point. But we're way outside of that niche thing, and that's another reason I think they're panicking. They're doubling down on the old Reagan, low IQ take because they really don't have anywhere to go, and that's all they have to appeal to.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, when the dust settles and logic settles in, the only thing that's going to be left behind is that they abandoned their white base, and they're still trying to throw their white base under the bus. So I'm really looking forward to that backlash. I'll close with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on analysis. I agree with just about, basically everything you said there. I don't know if you saw yesterday, I was showing how, like, you have these big con Inc. slop MAGA influencers like you talked about, and they're tweeting this, and they're getting kind of a mixed or like mostly positive reaction where a lot of people are like, yeah, Dems are the real racists or whatever. But then you have some people on the dissident right trying to do that because they don't like the people who are involved in Charlottesville and things like that. And the reception is way more critical. People who are actual dissidents on X, they're not falling for that line, which is good. It shows why, like, the dissident right is sort of the place to be if you're not retarded, because this is like the only place where you'll get a more clear, accurate understanding of reality. But like, whether or not, I guess the question is whether or not the people over on the MAGA slop side will realize that like the white people, that they are being thrown under the bus and that they are having their interests like subverted by these kind of narratives. And I don't know, man. I wouldn't hold my breath exactly.
No, well, I do think that all you need to create a massive social movement and even kind of take control of the general political sphere is, I think sociologists have said it's like the low double digits that are actually really committed and understand.
Yeah, 10 to 15%.
I think I mean, man, if we're already there with the under 30s, with the under 30 white male staffers on the Hill and all that, then I think we're pretty much there socially. I just think that the astroturfed institutions are so disconnected from the people. And that's the thing. The more disconnected they are from the general populace, the better that is for us.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I have heard that that what you're talking. There's like a famous speech by some black nationalist guy. I can't remember who it was exactly, but he's talking about the 5% and the 15% and all that. Anyway, I got a bunch of more callers though, so I'm gonna take some more calls here because I'm running out of time.
Yeah, you bet, man. God bless. Have a great show and have a great weekend.
All right, Ozark, thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Cheers. Revelator, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yo, P, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, sorry. I haven't been here a while because I've actually been looking for a job for months, but I finally got one recently, so that's been taking up all my time.
Oh,
so
congrats, man.
I actually had time just to come in.
I thought you weren't.
But yeah, I've actually.
I thought you weren't calling in because Nick hasn't been live for 2 weeks, so there's nothing for you to talk about.
Haha, so funny. But I will just say, like, I actually agree with what the guy was saying beforehand. I will say one thing, though. I actually do think that the people in the staffers are actually groypers, though. But they're not, because I feel like that compared to the other, alt-right, well, I even hate using that term, more dissident right movements. Nick's movement specifically has been promoting the followers to specifically, infiltrate politics and do that. Because I'll just say, all the other ones, whether they're white nationalists, Baptists, they don't really do that. That's really more Nick's thing. So I honestly do think they are groypers. But in other situations, I do agree that groyper has now just become a catch-all term for anyone who's not a gay retard. If you're not that, you're a groyper now, basically.
Yeah.
But I feel like specifically in the political realm, in the staffers, I think they are actually groypers. I do. But I think two things, right? I'm guessing you saw the whole drama with that guy who was, representing groypers on CNN.
A little bit, yeah. The CNN interview hasn't come out yet, right? Or has it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right, but it's just like, yeah, man, like, what are we doing, bro? It's like, how are you gonna? He wants to claim that he wasn't representing us, but it's like, but you are wearing our merch.
Yeah.
And all that. It's like, come on, dude. And you're saying, oh, well, well, I don't really care much about the Jews. I care about the financial. I forgot what he said, but all these crypto bros love saying that fiat money. Yes, they love saying that term. It's like, oh, like whatever, dude.
Yeah.
It's like you're just being stupid, and you can't represent someone else's movement like that and then expect them just to be happy about it.
Yeah, you don't feel. Do you feel a little bit bad for those guys? Don't you think like they're kind of like some people are just like well-meaning idiots, right? Or do you think no? Do you think it's like no,
I don't think he meant to do it. It's just that it's just not everyone is meant to be in the front stage and represent. Even someone like me, I'll even admit, right? Like, I'm well spoken, but I'm a little chubby. I'll be honest. Until I get myself into shape, I'm not over here doing any interviews or nothing. That's one thing first.
Yeah,
I know my situation.
People really should try to prove themselves on the internet before they start taking like mainstream media interviews. Like you should grow a big following, do a bunch of debates, go do internet debates, and see how that goes. Because guess what? It's harder than it looks. And probably everybody isn't going to be like, wow, man, you're so awesome at this. But if you do a whole bunch of that and everybody's like, wow, you're so awesome, then maybe you can start to think about talking to the press.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I don't even hold the ill will. I'll admit, the nigga was being dumb. And he should have just taken the criticism and just logged off. But it's I get it. But it's groypers can be very harsh. I'll admit that. But it's you kind of did mess up, bro. Yeah. I'll be honest. So just take the L and move on.
Yeah. I feel bad for people when they just get slammed for their looks. You know what I mean? And they were fairly normal looking guys, if we're being honest. They Like they weren't like these like morbidly obese, slovenly, like disgusting freaks, but that's how they were. Everybody was talking about them like they were, and I feel a little bit bad for them just on that. Like, well, like we live in this world now where it's like you have to be fucking clavicular, otherwise you're an ugly freak.
An Ubermensch.
It's so harsh. The standards are so high when it comes to looks these days on the internet. You got to be roided out. You got to be jacked. Anyway.
Yeah, it comes with the game, man. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
But the second thing I have to say is, damn, I don't know, like Trump, he's an evil bastard, but like, bro, that nigga knows how to cook. He really just cooked Candace that, like, bro. How do you come back from that? I don't even, the president really just posted your picture like that to True Social.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yikes, man. But again, the thing with Devin Stack, right? It's like, I don't even know, like, man, I actually like Devin Stack. I think he is an intelligent guy, but it's just like, there's just so many of these people, whether it's Corey Mahler, Devin Stack, many of these people, they're not stupid people. I just guess when it comes to Nick, they get brain worms and they just say the stupidest shit.
Yeah, so you're talking about Devin Stack. He like tweeted about this Groyper CNN thing and like he said, like, this is how you know it's a cult, because if you step 1 inch out of line, everybody like destroys you at the command of the leader or whatever, like that kind of thing. Whatever that was. Is that what
yeah, but it's like, that's annoying because it's like, that's like any movement, period. It's like, and that happens to Nick all the time. The white nationalist movement, anytime Nick says anything, even if they took him out of context or anything, they will never give him the benefit of the doubt, and they'll all just completely just dogpile on it.
Yeah, that tweet, I get what you're saying. That did feel like it was fueled by like a more personal resentment than really any kind of like useful point being made. I agree with that.
Yeah. But I still like the guy. I mean, like, so many of these people, they are clearly intelligent people. Like, they are. Yeah, but it's just, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you with this. It's just like, dude, see past yourself. The dude, like, Nick, I'm a Groyper. We're clearly the future, man. I'm just sorry, bro. I know. I just see all these people with Nick going, to Italy, right? There are these A-logs who are literally, they're over here fantasizing about them hating that he's quote unquote miscegenating. Like, bro, I don't, I
don't think you got to worry too much about that.
Yeah, these people are just weird. All these people are just like, bro, like, what's wrong with you, dude? Weird.
All right, Revelator.
Yeah, man.
What's the job? Can you tell us what you're doing, or do you not want to?
Canvassing. Selling internet. I will say one thing. Everyone here is black, damn near. And I remember one time I got into work.
Door-to-door canvassing, or like on the phone?
Yeah, door-to-door.
So you knock on people's doors and try to sell them internet.
Yeah.
Jeez. Good luck with that, man. I hate sales.
This is one funny story,
I hate sales, but
almost everyone there is black.
And it's a black
I mean, like
neighborhood.
Memphis black.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who's not like, I'm like Nigerian black, right?
Yeah.
So the way I'm talking, I don't consider myself very articulate, but I guess to them I am. And I just remember I went to the warning.
You're
just
fucking
like,
Shakespeare in the black community, dude. You need to you know what you should do is you should like wear a GoPro and like or whatever and like live stream. Have like a side hustle where you live stream yourself going and talking to these black people and like just like, them being stupid and stuff.
Like Chud the Builder?
Yeah, like Chud
not
the Builder.
saying the N-word, I guess, but just talking? Okay.
Yeah, just
before I go, I'll just say one
prices,
thing. So
you can be like,
hey
man, we got prices so good you won't chimp out and stuff like that. And then see if you get a reaction, yeah.
But yeah, I just went to the morning, and it was the morning, and everyone's just, I'm just like, oh, hello, everyone. Hello, right? They're over here making fun of me and saying, oh, greetings and salutations over here. I'm like, I just said hello.
Hello, this nigga white. Oh, well, how do you do, saw? they're like, no, sup, nigga. That's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say, sup, nigga.
Or hey, guys, or something. I'm just like, I don't really know them that well. So it's like, I just said hello, everyone. Hello, guys. But
All right, man. All right, Revelator. Good luck with that.
Yeah, man. Hopefully I see you next week, but yeah.
All right, cheers.
But yeah.
Cad's dead. You're live on the Daily Cope, and then we got Gloiper
Yo,
and Metalhead next. What's up, man?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man, we got those guys who knock on our doors and stuff. Anytime I see a black person, though, I never answer the door. Like, I would never answer for Revelator.
No kidding.
Even if he is well spoken, I'm just gonna look out the window and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's a black guy," and that's it, you know.
Yeah. You know what I do?
What?
What if Revelator knocked on my door? You know what I would do? Hold on. Hold on a second. I've probably hit. Hold on. I'd probably hit one of these.
Yeah, man. No, it's funny too with that thing with Nick and Candace both being in Italy. It's like Nick. Have you seen his new merch? Like that shirt he has where he's like 007, and then Candace is in the background as like the femme fatale or whatever. It's
No,
like a
I haven't
007
seen that.
character. He like memed it into existence through his merch because now they're both in Italy, and everybody's saying he's miscegenating with her.
Right. They're also on the run from like the DOJ, who's going to put him in jail for being SPLC secret agents or whatever. Yeah. That's, dude, what a retard clown world.
On some dating stuff, there was a new Durbert Johnson video that came out, and he was talking about dating for the young guys, and here was an angle about it that I don't know if you had ever considered, but
Okay.
so we know like the 80-20 rule. Some say 90-10. You know, you got like Chad gets all the girls, whatever.
Yeah. I actually talked about how that OkCupid study is like not been replicated across multiple attempts, but I'm familiar. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people say there's that kind of going on. But then another thing that he said was really interesting was if you look at the population pyramid with the whole thing with people not reproducing at a steady rate, he was talking about one of the things that guys like even you or me have done is we may be like late bloomers to get our shit together or whatever, but we can always date down.
Right.
Because there's younger girls.
Right. So yeah, no, I've seen, dude, I've seen that's becoming like a thing, and young guys are like really angry, and they're like, "You're stealing our women, you old fucks." Like I've had people like do that to me because I married a younger woman, and it's like, bro, just wait your turn. Yeah, it sucks now, but guess what? You're gonna be happy when you get a woman who's like 10, 15, 20 years younger than you. Okay, so just be patient, guys.
What if there doesn't come a point where there's a good population for them to reach down into, though, because people just keep like not having kids?
Yeah. Well, then I guess there's no humanity at that point. So
they'll have to start mommy maxing or getting older.
Yeah, hag maxing, sex robots. You'll have sex robots by then. Yeah.
You know they're going to say that, be like they'll be here in 5 years.
Yeah.
they need it to be here so bad, dude. No, but yeah, I went to confession earlier, man. So you know how I always said it's like I super chatted you this earlier this week. You know how I always say like, oh, you've never lived till you told a chick no. I had the opportunity earlier this week. And,
you were saying that you popped in the gaming stream and you were saying how someone was trying to seduce you.
Yeah, man. Pretty hot shit. I live in my hometown, and there's like a girl I used to date. Her little sister still lives out here, and she's a little older now, obviously, but smoking, and yeah, things almost got out of hand. But anyway,
geez, you didn't mention it was your ex-girlfriend's little sister. This is like a straight up female smut video, like book. This is like 50 Shades of Ked's Dead.
Well, it wasn't like that close to anything really happening, but the temptation was there, and I basically just shut it down. But it didn't feel that great saying no. Because,
it didn't?
In a lot of ways, no.
Wait, what did she get? Hold on, did she get mad?
Yeah, she did, but it's like...
How does that not feel good? I don't...
Not to sound like a complete scumbag or anything, but it's like, in a way, I kind of did want to, and like, thank God I have kids and stuff. Because really, that's really what pulled me away from it, like big time, because I just imagined in my head like what my daughter would think of me, or like, you know, like
Yeah.
The future could play out and whatnot, and that gave me enough motivation to be like, fuck all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess all the times I've said no, it's just because I straight up didn't want to do it. There wasn't some other ulterior moral qualm or whatever. It was just like, I remember one time it was my girlfriend at the time and I just wasn't in the mood. And I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then she like, the way she like freaked out, I was like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I stayed strong. It sucked though. I still had to do a fucking confession today, and because that's called like a near.
Yeah.
Sin,
Tell about your.
And I confessed it, but our priest knows my freaking voice, dude.
Right.
And I know he knows it was me, so it's just like, oh, this fucking sucks. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, man.
Exactly. All right, I'll let you go.
I'm wrapping up here. All right. Thank you, Ked's dad. Cheers. All right, Gloiper, what is up? You're live on the Daily Coat. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I like your show, man. It's my first time on.
Yeah, by the way, clip that and send it to Ked's dead wife. Clip that, send it to his wife. Send it to his priest and his wife. I'm just joking. Go ahead, Gloiper. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, what is all this about? Like, you haven't lived until you've told a girl no? Is that because it's like fun to tell them no, or is it because
it's kind of a joke, but the joke is they freak out, they like lose their shit because it's never happened to them before, and they get all angry, and it's funny. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I felt guilty every time, honestly,
for saying no.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Like, I feel like I should. I feel like it's expected of me.
Yeah,
as a man.
Can't relate. I don't know. I just like seeing women upset too much. I guess maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. But it's
I actually like seeing women upset, but like not about that.
Yeah.
I like seeing upset about like having stupid opinions and getting proven wrong. So I had a question about, do you think Nick is being like more chill lately because he had his generational run and he's tired, and then also he got demotivated because the boomers are so obviously just hopeless, and he's trying to let other creators rise up? Because I've noticed there's Chud the Builder and all these other people, there's so many right-wing people coming up that it's like, do you think he's trying to let one of them see if one of them fills the role or something?
No, I think yes to the first question, that he's like tired, but like he's making way for people. No, I think he's just like recharging, and it's been content drought for like 3 weeks, right? So I've been talking about like my malaise and all that, and part of it is because there hasn't been anything to talk about. That's why like I feel so bored and sick of the content. And Nick has expressed the same thing, and it's like it sucks having to come and do a show when you don't care about the news, right? The SPLC thing that happened, that's like the first thing in like 3 weeks where I was like, ooh, something happened, news that I actually want to talk about. But the day-to-day stuff, there's just been nothing there. So that's why he's like checked out for a couple weeks. I feel like
it's been ever since the Iran war, sort of, or ever since like a week after that. I feel like that's kind of when it happened.
Yeah.
Did you get that vibe at all, or no?
I mean, I don't think it's directly connected to the war. I think like the war was obviously big news, and that was really good for Nick specifically because it was like his victory lap moment. But
it's like things just time to take 15 victory laps.
Yeah, things just dried up since then, like really badly,
I suppose. Yeah, I guess I didn't notice the content drought as much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I even saw Nick posting about, or like I saw a clip or two of him complaining about it on his shows before he stopped doing shows, where he was just saying like, there's nothing to talk about, blah blah blah. And I could relate because I've felt the same way.
Right. I like that Dan Bilzerian's running. That's kind of exciting.
That is cool. That is cool. I really hope he wins.
I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah, me too. I like him.
He pretty much hasn't said anything I disagree with.
I mean, he really likes Muslims. He likes Muslims a little too much.
Oh,
but,
does he? He's like, what's that guy's name?
Jake Shields, or I don't know.
The guy who Sam Hyde had on.
Ken O'Keefe. Yeah.
Ken
Yeah,
O'Keefe,
there's a kind of guy where the anti-Semitism just drives them into the arms.
They're so anti-Semitic that they start to like Muslims.
Yeah, there's a kind of guy like that, and Dan has a twinge of that, but I don't hold it against him because he's just based as fuck on the Jews. So, yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
he's not perfect, but he's pretty damn good in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard too much of what he has to say on the Muslims, but he's very, very good at talking about like Israel and foreign policy and stuff.
Yes.
But a question for you. Okay. I know you're on TRT.
Yeah.
What do you think? So if the Jews hypothetically perhaps wanted us to do recreational drugs as goyim to weaken us.
Yeah.
Is it possible that the drug that they would be least likely to want us to do might be anabolic steroids because it makes you more disagreeable and more suspicious?
Yeah, it's very possible, but I haven't, there's definitely health risks and issues associated with steroids. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory to ban steroids when they're actually like the best possible thing you can do. There's you definitely want to be careful with that stuff.
No,
I will say, like, we're living in an era though where people have really figured out how to offset the negative effects, like how to do all the cycle properly and all that. So I think if you like really know what you're doing, it's not super dangerous, but I think
if you stick to like moderate dosing,
I'm not endorsing it. I'm
you're
just
pretty
saying
much cool, but it's just so fun that people just blast it.
Right. There's always a risk with that because it just feels good. I take like a really low dose of TRT because of the fertility thing. And I wish I could just slam like 6 times as much every time I take it, dude.
Are you trying to have more kids right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard of doing like intratesticular or whatever, intrascrotal, whatever they call it, topical TRT? And then that increases your intratesticular testosterone levels because the super, super high intratesticular testosterone is supposed to be one of the signals for spermatogenesis.
I have not heard that. I'm taking HCG and L-carnitine in addition to the TRT.
Yeah, carnitine. And carnitine's good. Injectable carnitine, HCG obviously.
Yeah, and I've done like sperm tests too, and so it's looking like should not be an issue. But the problem is, like I said, the problem for me is I take a really low dose of TRT. That's the problem.
So it sucks or what? Well, why is that a problem? Because
I want to take way. Does
any TRT make you have very low sperm count?
No, it's a problem because I want to take way more.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder what if it would change your sperm count. Have you tested? Well, I guess this is getting personal, but I wonder if you did definitely
it's not
administration.
If I took the scrotal thing, I don't know. I have not tried that. I don't know about that, but if I were to
you could take like a lot. I bet you could take like double dose and still get high sperm count because it's the intratesticular testosterone. Like the HCG already covers your like luteinizing hormone signaling and stuff, but I don't know. I've never had kids, so it's on the to-do list.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had, though. I appreciate you having me on the show. Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you, Gloiper. Thank you for calling. Gloiper 88.
Yes, sir.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Cheers.
All right. That's going to be the show for today. Thanks, everybody, for watching. YCSP back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. You guys have a great weekend. I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.